Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today we're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, which is now available starting today in 4K, Blu-ray, digital, etc. It's been on digital now for a little while, but it's now finally available on physical media. And if you've been following any of the news with what Netflix has been doing with Back to the Future and what Disney Plus has been doing with a lot of their movies, they are constantly trying to change various things, cut certain things out, and edit these films, which is why I still have been and always will be a huge proponent of physical media. So if you were a fan of Sonic, or if you were interested in Sonic and you want to see the actual product and you don't want it to be altered in any way, you might want to go ahead and buy this thing. And this is actually a very good addition. So again, shout out to Paramount for sending me this 4K special edition. It is a limited edition because this specific 4K title comes with a Sonic the Hedgehog, The Adventures of Sonic and Donut Lord comic book. And so I thought maybe this would be something that would go further into the adventures or continue the story. However, I am slightly disappointed because even though it is a full-fledged comic, it basically rehashes a lot of the points that were made in the movie where the two characters don't know each other at first and then they get to know each other. However, it is always nice when extra things are thrown into packages, and so this is definitely something that if you are interested in comics or if you want to have access to limited edition stuff, the 4K, as of right now, comes with this comic with it. And again, very limited time on that. Don't know exactly how many copies of those are available. I'm not seeing any numbers on here. However, as we all know, sometimes those things go very, very quickly. When it comes to the actual 4K itself, very well packaged together. I always love these 4K releases because they come not only with the 4K disc, but they also come with the regular standard Blu-ray edition. If you don't have a 4K player, or if you maybe want to lend it to a friend who wants to watch it, you can have both versions available for yourself. And it comes with a digital copy as well, and that is a 4K Ultra HD digital copy that you can basically go through Paramount's site and be able to get on any of the streaming platforms that you normally would use. And when it comes to the actual discs themselves, they're actually very well made, well put together. The Blu-ray copy gives you very crisp colors and very great sound. The 4K edition, also same thing, just obviously ups the ante because it comes in at 4K quality. Now, it's not a true 4K transfer because obviously when it comes to a lot of modern day big Hollywood pictures, they always have to render the 3D effects or the CGI effects at 2K resolution. And the reason why they do that is because it's just so much data. So imagine that you have twice the amount of data. It means it takes twice the amount of time. And when it comes to certain movie productions, adding more time to your project and not getting to get your movie out as quickly as possible can sometimes lead to a ballooning budget, and also can sometimes end up leading to some financial losses. And so you are getting some very good HDR, you're getting some very good picture quality here, great audio as well, similar to the Blu-ray disc. And so if you're kind of worried about that, you are getting great with both. You do get HDR only on the 4K disc, but it is still something that is very exclusive to the 4K format at this point in time. But you wouldn't be losing out if you decide to get the regular Blu-ray for yourself. Now, when it comes to special features, the 4K disc just has the movie itself, because obviously even though 4Ks can hold upwards of 100 gigs of data, which is a lot of data for a movie, that's pretty much all they actually end up holding is the movie itself. And as far as any special features go, the only thing that's listed on the 4K is the commentary track, which has Jeff Fowler, the director, and also the actor Ben Schwartz, who played the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog himself. The Blu-ray copy, on the other hand, the Blu-ray edition, since that file size for the movie is a little bit smaller, usually it's around 20 to 30 gigs for that file. With the disc itself, usually the dual-layered disc can hold upwards of 50 gigs of information, means that you have that extra 10 to 15 gigs to be able to put on any extra special features. And there are actually a fair amount of special features on the Blu-ray disc. And so the ones that they list on the back of the Blu-ray itself are deleted scenes and bloopers, Sonic's Next Adventure, Building Robotnik with Jim Carrey, and more. And with that and more, I actually went through the Blu-ray menu and wrote down a few of the things. So they have Around the World in 80 Seconds. So if you have any kids, this actually, if you have any kids, this would be a great movie for them. I think that this is a film that many kids will be able to enjoy. I personally was not a huge fan of it. I'm a huge fan of Jeff Fowler and how he delayed the movie to try and get Sonic just right. So I'm always going to have a lot of respect for him. And he obviously, especially when you look at the behind the scenes, has a lot of care and a lot of passion about this character. However, I do feel like this movie came off a little bit more on the kidsy side of things. Again, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but I'm more drawn to animated movies that are more family films where they have something that adults can really enjoy things that teenagers can really enjoy, and of course stuff for the kids as well. This one leans more towards, being very enjoyable for the little kids. Teenagers might enjoy some aspects of it, but for adults, I don't know if this is a film that I'd want to watch over and over and over again. However, of course, having not been in a position to have to watch it over and over again, that obviously could change down the road. However, it is still a very good family time. And Around the World in 80 Seconds, which is one of the shorts they have on there, it's about 2 minutes long, again, 80 seconds. And basically, it is a narration done by the voice of Sonic, and it is basically an animation-style drawing of basically a journal of him going to different parts of the world. So it's kind of funny. You get a little bit of an extra bit of a very small, short, added adventures onto Sonic the Hedgehog. So kids are going to really enjoy that extra feature. The deleted scenes themselves make up about 13 minutes. However, my only problem with the deleted scenes is that about half of them are using unrendered or unfinished effects. And so you get basically these PS1, PS2 type graphics on there, and obviously they weren't meant to be having that official done, because that would take longer time to render, would mean they would have to spend more money, and why would you do that for deleted scenes? And obviously, I think that the Blu-ray disc is the place to put that information on there, because you don't want to be like the Avengers and Endgame and say, hey, let's re-release the movie to try and make more money, saying we have extra scenes, when all we're doing is adding unfinished stuff on there. Luckily, Sonic did not do that. They saved it where it should be on their Blu-ray and 4K releases. However, it is kind of always nice to see deleted scenes, especially when it comes to CGI-heavy movies, actually give you the finished effects themselves, and especially since some of the deleted scenes seem to be having taken from scenes that were in the actual movie, or scenes that were shown in the trailer where you did see some sort of finished effect. And so I thought it was weird that you got unfinished effects in a lot of these scenes, and it would have been nice to see those done a little bit more. But still, 13 minutes of deleted scenes, not bad. Bloopers are only about 2 minutes. That kind of upset me, because I think bloopers can sometimes be that part of a Blu-ray that almost makes it even more worth it to actually buy and own. I still think it is, just to have the physical media, but bloopers are usually the best part of it. And yes, most of the bloopers on the blooper reel are definitely from Jim Carrey, which you would expect, because Jim Carrey, if you've ever seen any of his movies, sometimes they literally would just wait until the end of the movie and just put his bloopers on there as a bit of extra in the movie itself. I always remember watching the movie Liar Liar, and then at the end of the movie during the credits, they're showing all of the bloopers and all of the improv that he did, because despite the fact that he's a little bit insane, he is still a very great improv actor. And so he's a part of that. He makes a lot of funny things go on in there. However, only 2 minutes of bloopers. I wish there could have been a little bit more. There's also a short on there, or but rather a little behind the scenes, about 3 minutes, 50 seconds, again, about 4 minutes of interviews. So just talking about how the different actors grew up with Sonic, what their background with Sonic is. So it's really cool to hear them talk about, of course, Jeff Fowler too, talking about all these different things. You then had a special on there called Building Robotnik, which was about 4 minutes, which focused mostly on how the character of Robotnik was built by Jeff Fowler and also by Jim Carrey. So kind of a special on Jim Carrey. You kind of expect that. He's definitely the biggest name attached to this movie, and so you would expect them to have something like that. But 4 minutes going into that. Then there's the Origins of Sonic, which actually may have been my favorite short on there, because they actually brought in the people who are currently associated with Sega or have some history with the original brand and the original creation of Sonic. And so they were talking about how Sonic first started off, the history of it, how it developed through time, all the different iterations. And even though it's only 6 minutes, it's just kind of a very nice condensed version of the history going further into it. It kind of just makes you appreciate the movie a little bit more because of what they're able to go through in that process. There's also, of course, Sonic on Set with Ben Schwartz, the voice of Sonic in this film. And it kind of goes through how he got the part, and rather how the part actually worked out. So, you have him sitting in his chair, and they're putting the dots on his face for the CG elements, and show how he interacts with the different actors and how those scenes played out, because obviously when you look to the different actors in this film, they weren't actually ever really on set talking directly with Ben Schwartz in the actual moment. Instead, they were talking with either a puppet, or they were talking with some type of inanimate object that was meant to be where the CGI Sonic would eventually be put. So it's kind of interesting to see how they handled that overall. A lot of James Marsden in here, which I personally like a lot. I think James Marsden is one of these underrated actors who is utilized in certain films and just does a great job in whatever role he's actually put in. And so that was really cool to see him in a lot of these different parts. But yeah, that is the 4K, and those are all the special features that are on the Blu-ray disc. And as I mentioned, the 4K disc has the movie itself in giant format because it's got to fit that extra information for the HDR content, but it does have the commentary track both on the Blu-ray and also on the 4K. So the 4K disc does not have any extra special features, which if you're in between about whether you want to get the Blu-ray or the 4K, basically you're getting the same exact thing. You're getting the same special features that you would be getting on the 4K disc and the 4K release anyway. The difference being with the 4K release, you do get, at least for a limited time, this extra comic, and of course you get the higher quality of the 4K disc, and also the higher quality with the 4K Ultra HD digital copy as well. But anyway, are you planning to pick up Sonic the Hedgehog? As I mentioned in my original review of this movie, again, definitely more on the kids side of things, and I think I gave it like a C+, B-. It's definitely not my favorite movie of the year. I kind of wanted it to be. I went in with very high expectations. That being said, if you are looking for a movie to show your kids, especially during this time of quarantine, this is an excellent choice to show, and this is an excellent addition, an excellent package. So once again, shout out to Paramount for sending this to me this way. And just for full disclosure, I'm not being paid for this review. All they did was send me a review copy. They're not having to review this beforehand. Basically, I'm going to upload this to YouTube, send them the link saying, hey, look, I covered it. Please keep sending me more movies. So if you want to try and allow for me to be able to do more 4K and Blu-ray reviews like this, please like the video. Let me just go ahead and try and give you a better look at the image, since I know there's some reflections going on here. So once again, very well put together package here with a lot of extra content. But please, if you would like to support the channel, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and share this with anyone else that you might think is interested in Sonic on 4K or in 4K movies in general. So that way I can continue to receive them and review them for the channel. Thank you so much for your time and attention. If you like this video, again, smash that like button. Thank you all. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to my May Patreon and Subscribe Star members: Albertus Magnus, Animation Commentator Brian P., Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Weeder Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunker Chunker Funker Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Kenneth Camiel, Lady T, Laura Story, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Out of Step with Reality, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bojan, The DJD Show, and Tina B. Thank you all for being my Patreon members, and a shout out to my Subscribe Star peeps: John B., Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Darkstar 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Nevadon G. Adams, and ZK Man. And a special shout out to David Bobrizik and Edgardo Martinez. I'm going to leave that pause there just in case anyone decides to join for the month of May, because you can indeed join on Patreon or Subscribe Star at any time this month to be eligible for any of the perks. They include access to an exclusive podcast that I do with John, the Flick Pick of John Flickinger's fame, so make sure you go ahead and check that out at the $10 and up level. Also, if you Subscribe Star or Patreon at $5 or up, you have access to exclusive giveaways of 4K movies, digital films, and a bunch of other stuff in between as well. And if anything, you could at least give just anything that you really want to help support the channel, and it would really help me out a lot. Keeps the lights on, makes me able to continue to do this kind of stuff. So anything you possibly give, check out some more information in the description of the Patreon, Subscribe Star, and of course YouTube membership links as well. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.